皆さん、英語のソータです。
And I'm Reilly.
Hey Reilly, how's it going?
Good.
Good. How was the event?
Yeah, it was really fun. A little bit busy at first, so the beginning was a little bit stressful, but after that, it was really fun.
Yeah, next time when you have another event, please let me know.
Of course, yeah.
I want to eat it. はい、皆さん、なんか最近すごいもう秋の気候になってきましたよね。涼しくなってきました。で、ライちゃんの身内でやったサンドイッチパーティーも無事に終わったようですし、あと僕から先週できなかったお知らせを一つさせてください。約2年近くまた取り掛からせていただいていた、ディズニーとコラボして作らせていただく英会話本が10月19日に全国の書店に並ぶことになりました。で、予約はもう Amazon だったり楽天だったりネットショップでは始まっていまして、インスタではずっとメイキングを載せてきたので、僕がどれだけの思いを込めてまた作ったかっていう気持ちが伝わってると思うんですが、ちょっとポッドキャストの皆さんにももちろん報告させていただきたいと同時に、あまりその過程が見えてない分、断片的だとあまり思いが届かないかなと思うので、ちょっとこの場を借りて少し説明をさせていただきたかったです。で、メイキングなどは全部インスタグラム英語のソータに載せてますので、ぜひ見ていただきたいなと思うんですけど、ディズニー映画の中に出てくる英会話フレーズで、本当に会話の中で使えるものだけを厳選して紹介する英会話本になってます。ただ、普通に英会話フレーズを紹介するだけだと、シンプルすぎるので、今回僕の中のテーマが、どうやったら頭の中に英会話フレーズが残って、実際の会話で使えるようになるのかっていう方法を、ディズニーコンテンツを使いながら、皆さんにお伝えさせていただく内容にさせていただいてます。なので、英語学習をする上で覚えれない、使えないっていう表現って、どの英語学習者のレベルの方でも感じることがあると思うんですよね。ちょっとした工夫と、ちょっとしたインプットの仕方をするだけで、頭への残り方はこれだけ変わりますよっていうのを、ディズニーコンテンツを使って、作らせていただいた作品になっているので、もしご興味があれば、ディズニー映画で身につく、そのまま使える英会話フレーズと検索していただくと出てきますし、概要欄にリンクも貼ってますので、ぜひご覧いただければなと思います。こんな感じで、これからも作品作りなどをさせていただくときは、どうやって英語学習者の方の悩みを僕の視点で解決できるだろうって考えながら、たくさん思いを込めて作らせていただくと思うので、今回もその思いが届くと嬉しいなと思います。いつも応援していただいてありがとうございます。これからもいろんないいコンテンツを作れるように頑張りたいなと思います。そしてこの台本なし英会話レッスンもいいものにしていきたいなと思います。Right, then, Reilly, are you ready?
Yep.
ソータと
Reillyの台本なし英会話レッスン Episode 247.
All right, what is the topic for episode 247, Reilly?
It is pet care.
はい、今回のお題は、ペットへのケア、アメリカ vs 日本です。So actually, I've talked about this with another American, Nate, in the past, and the episode number is 60. And in that episode as well, we focused on, but yeah, in the episode, it was mostly about dogs persons versus cat persons. And also, how to, keep dogs and cats. But in this episode, so everybody, if you haven't listened to the episode, please go back and listen to it. Maybe you'll find another perspective. But in this episode, I want to focus on pet care more and deeply, because I feel like people in the States are caring about pets' feelings more than Japan. Or more than Japanese. And also the pet's cognition or understanding or protection for animals are more advanced in the States, I feel. So in this episode, I want to focus on that kind of field.
Okay.
Okay, then after you came to Japan, did you find any big difference between America and Japan in terms of pet care or pet protection or things like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, I could say like compared to America, I think pretty much anywhere in America, there's way more strays in Japan. Like stray cats, especially. Like of course, they exist in America. There are stray cats, but here I feel like I see them all the time. Especially like if I am walking around at night, I will see a cat, like 100%. But in America, that wasn't the case. I think even in big cities, like I remember in New York, there were a couple of stray cats that I met over 4 years, but it wasn't like every night, you know?
Where do you think this difference came from?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think like, I know in America, there's like this history of having like a dog catcher, or there might have been a cat catcher too. I'm not so sure about that, but like, it was like a job where you go around to catch strays. And I don't know if that exists in Japan, maybe, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure where it comes from. I know that like stray cats in America are definitely considered like dirty, and that you probably shouldn't touch them or something like that, but it's probably the same in Japan, right?
Then in this case, how is that related to animal protection?
Well, I mean, I think that the stray animals are not protected, so to speak, right? Like, because they're stray, they're almost wild, right? So like if a stray cat is sick, or if a stray cat has babies, and something happens to the mother cat, there's no one to protect the babies, right? Like it's basically like nature, so
yeah. And also perhaps more Japanese people leave cats or dogs sometimes in the nature, then the number got bigger or something.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure of the reason why it happens, but I think also it's less common in Japan to spay or neuter animals, like to make it so that they can't have babies. That's pretty common in America with both dogs and cats, but I think in Japan it's not as common. So, if you have a pet cat, but you let your pet cat go outside sometimes, and your pet cat gets another cat pregnant, then there are more stray cats.
Okay, then in the States, you said there was a catcher. What was the job for? I thought they were going to kill them, but not for that.
I think they used to, yeah. I think they used to kill them. I think nowadays, if that job still exists, probably, but I don't know. It's not so common anymore. Now they probably put them in some kind of shelter. They call it like a dog shelter.
Okay, then they do that for the protection reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the past for dogs, it was protection for people, right? Because like a stray dog can be dangerous, right? So a stray cat, I guess, is probably not super dangerous, other than maybe like diseases or something like that. But
okay, yeah, and in Japan too, about the neuter thing, some unprofitable organization.
Non-profit.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Non-profit organization or any volunteers are doing that sometimes, but not a official public government workers or something, official workers. But in the States, they're official.
I don't think it's government workers. I think it's usually like a vet. You go to when you first get a dog or a cat, you have to get the shots, the vaccines for whatever different diseases, and then you often usually get it spayed or neutered as well.
And it's like a non-profit organization like Japan.
I don't think it's non-profit. No, I think you pay the vet.
Oh,
I think there might be non-profit versions, but often it's you pay for it. It's kind of the part of the price of having a pet.
You said like people. Oh, it's not common to have neuter. Was that? Oh, what did that mean? Like people or volunteers go to the street and then look for cats and do that, or people who own cats?
I'm not sure I follow. So I think I said it was less common for pets to be neutered in Japan than in America.
Does that mean, pet owners don't do that?
Yeah, by do it, I mean like take it to a vet or something to do it. Obviously, pet owners don't do it themselves. That would be crazy.
I mean, like, I thought you were saying, in America, official workers are looking for cats and dogs on the street, and then they get them neutered. But you didn't mean that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that could be part of a dog catcher or cat catcher's job. I'm not really sure, but I think for the most part, owners have somebody do it, right? When they get the pet.
Okay, then in that way, I think in Japan too, it's getting common, and then most people try to do that so that cats or dogs, are not going to have sickness or illness in the future.
Okay. Then, yeah, so it's getting more popular.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But in the States, it's completely common, and then it's a kind of standard, you think?
Yeah, it's almost weird to see a dog that isn't neutered. It's kind of rare. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. One more question. Is that for not to get them pregnant, which means not to have more stray dogs or cats?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Yeah.
So for animal protection.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a kind of maybe dark side to it too, where I think it's also kind of used to calm dogs down. Right? Because neutering, right, is removing the testicles. So like testicles make testosterone, which can make animals aggressive, or at least people think that. So part of it is kind of making dogs less aggressive, at least male dogs. So yeah, I don't know whether that's good or bad. If it were humans, it would obviously be bad, but
Yeah, I got your point. では一旦ちょっと訳しましょうかね。結構長くたくさん話させていただきましたが、そう、訳していく前にどこかで、オールイングリッシュで僕とライリーで話す番組を一回作りたいなって思ってます。この前、インスタでチラッと言ってたんですけど。なので、ちょっとそこも頭にあったので、 英語多めで今話してました。So at some point, I want to try making an episode in which I and you and I are going to speak all English, only English. So no Japanese translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try that. Yeah, that's why, I try to make this conversation a bit longer, and we had only English conversations a lot.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
What will that mean for vocabulary and stuff? Can you just tell me at some point to write that down or something like that?
We're not going to do that. Just going to have a conversation in English.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to say that I wanted to do that, or I want to do that. That's why I got this longer version of English conversation for practice for now.
Okay.
Okay. すいません。一回訳していきたいんですけど、日本とアメリカで、Animal Protection、動物愛護という視点で大きな違いはあるかっていう質問からまず始まってました。で、ライリーの回答が、野良猫ちゃんがすごい日本は多いよねっていう、視点でした。で、アメリカではそれがないと。で、今この全部会話を終えた上で思うのは、思うというか分かったことは、去勢手術ですよね。neuter、スペリングお願いしましょうかね。去勢手術をアメリカではもうスタンダードの基準としてもみんなやるらしいんですよね。まあ、正直日本でも去勢手術は結構病院でも勧められたり、もうスタンダード化してきてると思うんですけど、みんながみんなかって言われると、ちょっと僕もそこは自信がないので、アメリカでは結構みんならしいです。で、その理由っていうのが、やっぱりこう、猫ちゃん、ワンちゃんを、なんていうのかな、人間のエゴじゃないな、無作為にって言った方がいいのかな、増やしてしまう。それによって、やっぱ動物たちが、道で過ごさないといけなくなったりして、それってかわいそうだよねっていう視点から、子供が変な形で増えないために去勢をさせるっていう、イコールアニマルプロテクションの認識が高いんだろうなっていうふうに今僕は捉えてます。まあ、その一方、日本は、野良猫が多いイコール、やっぱり去勢をちゃんとしていない、飼い主さんもいる結果そうなってしまうっていう見方も彼の視点からするとあるんだろうなって今聞いてて思いましたね。で、stray cats or stray dogs。stray っていうのを打っておいてもらいましょうかね。あとは、way more common、way more。で、way more、後ろ形容詞の形で、こっちの方がと何々っていう。例えば、it's way more common っていうと、その去勢手術はアメリカではもうめちゃくちゃ一般的とか、way more で強調することができますね。比較級を。で、stray っていうのは、いわば street dogs あるいは street cats、道にいるワン、
Yeah, you could say that. Sure. Street cats, street dogs.
Yes. 道にいるワンちゃん、猫ちゃんのことですね。street dogs or street cats あるいは or stray dogs or stray cats 発音似てますからね。が、まあこの英語表現かなと。で、あとはライリーが it wasn't the case って言ってましたかね。何の時に出たかちょっと忘れちゃったんですけど、昔はアメリカでもcatcher、この言い方が正しいかわかんないけどってライリーも言ってましたが、よく映画とかでも見ますよね。ワンちゃんを網とかでバーンって捕まえる、職員さん、アメリカの。ああいうのが今は多分だいぶないと思うけれども、まあ、昔はそれがあったと。で、今でもそれをするのは理由としては、シェルターとかに連れて行って、去勢をしてあげたり、あるいはちゃんとお世話をしてあげるっていう目的でやると。でも、日本ってそういう職業ないよね、捕まえたりしてる人いないよねっていう視点もあったんですけど、助けてあげようっていう視点で捕まえるっていうのは、そのオフィシャルな仕事としては、 少ないかもですよね。っていうかないかもですよね。ごめんなさい。ここちょっと知識足りなかったら。でも、捕まえるのは大体保健所の、雇われてる人っていう視点で見るならば、保健所の人たちで、捕まえて殺処分しちゃうっていう、視点だと思うんですよね。でも、アメリカの場合は、捕まえるその職業があったとしても、彼らをちゃんと捕まえてお世話してあげるっていう、その結果、こう、野良猫、野良犬が道で見当たらない、あるいはこう人間に危害を加える動物たちもいなくなる。その結果、みんながこうハッピーに過ごせるっていう仕組みが出来上がってるんだろうなって思います。あとは、vet っていうのは、獣医師さんですね。あとは、shots、vaccination あるいは vaccine、注射ですね。で、あそこはちょっと噛み合ってなかったんですけど、僕はアメリカでは、ワクチンとか去勢をしてあげるボランティアの人たちとか、そういう職業の人たちが道を歩き回ってそういう猫ちゃんとかを探して、そういうケアをしてあげるのかなと思ったんですけど、そういう感じではなく、ペットオーナーが連れて行って、去勢をするっていう、会話でした。僕は一瞬、アメリカではそんなに、理解が進んで、道にいる猫ちゃん、ワンちゃんに注射を打って回ってあげる仕事とか、ボランティアとかがいっぱいあるんだと思ったんですけど、あそこはそうではなかったです。そこの、整理を二人でしてましたね。あとは、去勢をすることでね、testicles って言ってましたかね。生殖機能を、オスで言うと睾丸とかって言った方がいいですかね。それを取ることで、やっぱりこう、性欲がなくなるので、ある意味それは人間のエゴと捉える方もいらっしゃるかもですけど、こう、盛りがつかないために、去勢をするという視点もあるかもしれませんよね。で、calm down って言ってましたかね。calm down でこう落ち着かせるっていうことですね。ここまでがその話していたことですね。So, anyways, you feel like there is much more protection in the States in terms of vaccination, neutering, and no street cats or street dogs. That's your perspective.
Yeah, I think so. I don't want to say no, but much fewer.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Okay. Then do you have another point of you feeling America has more protection about animals?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure this is exactly protection, but like pets seem to have more rights in America, if that makes sense, or at least pet owners have more rights. Like, especially I think even recently, like the last maybe 10 years, it's become much more common for pets to be allowed almost anywhere. Like you can bring pets into cafes or restaurants. I don't know, maybe even some stores. Like you can bring your pets with you a lot of places now. And like I don't know if they have this in Japan. I don't think so. In Starbucks, there's something called a puppuccino. Have you heard of that?
No.
Puppuccino. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's some kind of like not candy, snack, I guess, for dogs. And I think it's free.
Really? Puppuccino. Papa means?
Pup comes from like dog, right? Like a puppy.
A puppy.
And then they combine with cappuccino, right? So puppuccino.
So, yeah, for example, in Japan, we or I have to look for some cafes that say on the internet, we can allow you to come with your pets. But in the States, everywhere is okay.
Yeah, not everywhere, but like a lot of places.
So we don't need to check, or how do you have to check?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think some people like don't like to bring their dog into places because it even if it's allowed, it's considered like maybe a little bit not rude, but like I don't know how to describe it. You're kind of like taking other people's space a little bit by bringing a dog in somewhere, because maybe maybe the store is okay with dogs, but not everyone in the store would be okay with dogs or something like that,
Then
but
how can you tell, or how can you
tell?
handle?
I mean, some places will definitely say like dogs are okay. Some places will put out like a water bowl or something outside of the store, so that's kind of like a sign that dogs are allowed. I don't know. It's yeah, I'm not sure exactly how you tell. I think a lot of people who do bring their dogs into places just kind of assume that it's okay to do, and maybe sometimes they get told, oh, please, no dogs in here or something like that.
Yeah, so usually, or for the most part, dogs and cats are fine.
Yeah, I think so.
I understand. Very interesting, because it's really hard in Japan to find those cafes. Yeah, there are so small amount of shops. How about supermarket or trains or those public transportation?
Yeah, buses or things like that. I don't know. I don't know if it's allowed or not. I've definitely seen pets, dogs on the subway in New York, but I've seen a lot of stuff on the subway in New York. Just because I saw it doesn't mean it's allowed. So I'm not sure what the rule is for that, but people definitely do it. Bring
buses
pets.
Too?
Buses, maybe. I didn't ride a lot of buses when I lived in New York, but if they do it on the subway, they might do it on the bus. I'm not sure.
That's so cool. How about supermarkets? Grocery
Supermarkets. I don't think I've seen it. Of course, if someone has like a service dog, right? Like a blind person, or there are other kinds of service dogs, but maybe mostly blind people. Of course, that kind of thing is okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about supermarkets. Maybe some. My gut tells me that it's okay in a lot of supermarkets now, because it's just becoming much more open. But yeah.
なるほどね。service dog and blind people を打っておいてもらおうかなと思うんですけど、そう、アメリカ、もう一個日本とアメリカの違うところっていうのは、動物への理解、あるいは動物の権利、あるいはペットを飼ってる飼い主さんの権利っていうのがもっとあると、ほんまそれやねん。日本でもそういうところをもうちょっと、進めていかないといけないなって僕は思ってるんですけど、アメリカではもう電車も犬 OK だし、バスも OK だし、スーパーはこのサービスドッグっていう介助犬ですよね。目がブラインドっていうのは目が見えない人をサポートするワンちゃんとかしかあんま見たことないかもだけど、基本的にカフェもレストラン、restaurants as well. Most restaurants.
I think many restaurants, yeah.
レストランも、もう普通にペット OK ってなってるところが多くて、なので、もういい悪いとかをもうそもそも書いてないくらい、もう普通にペットも OK っていう状況らしいんですよね。つまりそれだけペットが理解されていること、権利があるっていうことですよね。Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, or what I wanted to bring up in this episode. Because in Japan, animals don't have the same rights as human rights, and then pet owners as well. And I feel like, for example, when I wanted to go to Okinawa, of course, obviously, I have to, get on board. And it's impossible in Japan for us to take our dogs and cats inside the airplane. Then when I was looking up on the internet, I found some articles or, I got to know that in the States, there are a lot of airline companies that allow us to take dogs or cats inside. So there's no animal rights in Japan.
I think for airlines, like the rule is you have to be able to fit your pet in a carrying box or something like that. I think. Like, I don't think you can take like a big dog on a plane, but maybe.
Yeah, not no rights, but not as the one, not like the one in the States. So I'm sometimes really sad about this situation.
Yeah.
And also, if we focus on this field as a global standard, I think Japan is not advanced. And then compared to, of course, America is really advanced. But how about other countries? Do you know about the situations?
I think a lot of countries in the West are similar to America. At least I want to say like Canada and the UK are definitely similar to America in how they treat pets. I don't actually, when I was in Spain, I thought that animals had like less rights there than in America. One thing that I experienced in Spain was was sad, was I stayed in an Airbnb in a man's apartment for like a weekend, and during that time he beat his dog. Like, I remember we were going to bed, and then I don't know what the dog did, but did something to make the owner angry, and the owner took the dog into like the bathroom, and all we could hear was like the dog, basically crying, or however you want to say it. And then when I went to ask other Spanish people, like, this happened, what do you think about that? A lot of them were kind of like, oh yeah, that's common. Like, so in America, that's absolutely not common, right? Like,
from when?
From when?
Yeah, they used to do it in the past.
Probably. Yeah, I don't really know what the cutoff would be, but definitely in my lifetime, it's never been common.
I see. なるほどね。そう、ここからちょっと、番組はね、いろんな方が聞かれてると思うので、問題提起として投げかけたいなと思うのが、日本のやっぱり動物への理解っていうのがあまりにも進んでないなって感じるんですよね。で、それは、そうですね、社会全体っていうのもそうでしょうし、本当にペットを飼ってない人の感覚っていうのも、まだまだやっぱ、もっと洗練させていかないといけないなって僕は思うんですよね。で、本当に動物も一生き物として捉える考え方っていうのが、一教養として人がみんな備えておかないといけない感覚に世界的には僕はなってきてると思うんですよね。ただ、やっぱり日本では、その動物への理解、あるいは動物にも気持ちがあって、だからこそこういうふうにしてあげないといけないっていうのが、例えばお店に入れる、入れない。あとは、航空会社もそうですよね。日本では一切機内に動物を連れ込んではいけないんですけど、海外では、もちろんカバンに入るようにしないといけないとかはあるようですけれども、たくさん、機内に連れ込めるエアラインもあるんですよね。っていう、やっぱり、 世界基準で見たときに、日本のその動物への気持ちっていうのが、まだまだ古いなって思うんですよね。いろんなことがやっぱ正直日本って古いところあるじゃないですか。その一個に、動物への気持ち、理解っていうところが進んでないよっていうところに気づいてない人たちも僕は多い気がするんですよね。これも今、世界的には大切な変えていかないといけない一つの視点だと僕は思ってます。その上で今、ライリーのお話でしたけれども、やっぱアメリカではすごいそこの理解が進んでいると。ただ、難しいのは、やっぱり動物たちを機内とか、あるいはいろんなところに連れ込むことで、起きてくる問題っていうのも考えていかないといけないですよね。そこをどうコントロールしているのか、後でちょっとライリーに聞きたいなと思ってるんですけど、やっぱりマナーをちゃんと守れない飼い主さんもいるでしょうから、そこのバランスが難しいですよね。そこをうまくもうあらかじめ排除するために日本ではもう動物禁止ってなってるんだろうなと思います。で、もう一個、その世界基準で見たときにどうなってるのかっていう質問でしたけど、beat っていうのはこう殴るっていう意味ですね。ライリーに打っておいてもらいましょうかね。スペインにライリーが行ったときに、エアビーっていう人の家に泊まるサービスで泊まったときに、そこの飼い主さんがワンちゃんをバスルームに連れて行って、すごい叩いてたと。で、アメリカでも昔はそういうしつけがあったかもしれないと。日本もそうですよね。こう、叩いて教えるとかっていうのは子供に対しても動物に対しても昔はあって、今はだいぶ減ってきてるんじゃないかなと思うんですけど、スペインではまだ、それが普通だよってみんな言ってたと。つまり、アメリカ、カナダとかはすごく動物への理解っていうのが進んでいるようですけど、やっぱりまだそうやって進んでない外国もあれば、その一つに日本もあるっていう、ここはちょっとね、考えていかないといけないところかなと思いますかね。なので、ここからもう少しそのペットの飼い方、しつけ、あるいは動物をどういうふうにこう理解していけるのかっていうところを、お話ししていければなと思うんですけれども、一旦前半はここまでとしまして、パート2に持ち込みたいなと思います。So I think it's important to improve animal rights in Japan and in the world as well. And as you said, in America, the system or the protection are so advanced, but in Japan, it's not that advanced. So in part two, I want to focus on that aspect. Then I want to talk with you, like how can we make it better? And then what kind of, differences exist still in the States and in Japan?
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
後半に続きます。